might all not be well at Tottenham.
Tottenham Hotspur 0, Ipswich 2. Delirium in the northeast corner of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
That's down to me. That's my responsibility. The inconsistency we're having this year ultimately comes down to kind of me and my approach.
He ain't good enough to be Tottenham manager. He's not good enough. He must motivate. He couldn't even motivate a can of tuna.
They're all over the place at the back, and it's unacceptable. If you're a team like Ipswich, he'll say, look, be solid, be hard to beat, and Spurs will give you a chance.
It's just who we are, mate.
Gifted early Christmas presents to winless Palace and winless Ipswich. Tottenham Hotspursy and Jamie O'Hara, you lot are miles off it.
I mean, we've got to look forward, but I think we've got to look forward without Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, the truth is, Gabby, they're not that many miles off it because they're 3 points off third place.
That's the thing. If they'd beaten Ipswich, I know it's all ifs and buts, I get that. They beat Ipswich, they're sitting in third place right now. It's amazing. The league's really interesting. It hasn't calmed down yet, really, I don't think. Apart from Liverpool, who have been exceptional.
I mean, that was a shocker of a result, but then you hear all the stories coming out of the club that maybe the manager's fallen out with 3 or 4 players, but that wouldn't be anything unusual, would it?
No, that's what happens. That happens in every dressing room. There's not everybody gets on with the manager and the coach, so that wouldn't be unusual. I just think, I must admit, I enjoy listening to Ange. I do. I think he's pretty forthright. I think he says what he thinks. You know, he's not going to butter anything up. He knows what he sees with his team. He knows his problems with his team. He's pretty, he is. He's 100%. You know, he knows what he wants from his team, and he's not going to deviate from that at all. It doesn't look like. So they've got some massive games coming up. It'll be really interesting, but they're not miles off it. I mean, there were a couple of really poor results. There were a couple of very good results.
Yeah,
they've just been Tottenham, really.
They got Manchester City away next, and I mean the problem is that if they lose that, they could be down in 12th or 13th place. If you just glanced at the league table, but they still wouldn't be too far off where they want to be. I do have to ask you though: do you think there's a problem with James Maddison at the moment because he can't get a start? When he does get a start, he doesn't finish.
Well, clearly, with the talent James Maddison has, I think he's a real talent. I really, really do, Jeff. And I would expect him. I certainly would expect him to start all the games. I would, and I would expect him to finish more than he's finishing. So, I think it's a problem for James himself that he's not getting. I don't think he's getting clearly anything like the game time he should.
No.
So I don't know whether the manager has got a little bit of a problem with him, or he doesn't fancy with him, or he doesn't think he can last 90 minutes, or what the problem is. But you'd have to suggest that there's that all's not well. Everything isn't 100%. I don't want to say all's not well, but everything doesn't seem to be 100%.
People will question it because they looked at the game against Ipswich. You're losing at home to Ipswich, and he's on the bench till 6 minutes before full time.
Strange.
Very strange. Look, let's get an opinion on Spurs from a man who knows all about the club. It's Harry Redknapp. Morning, Harry.
Good morning, Harry.
Jeff, Ali, good morning.
Good. How are you, Harry?
Yeah, all good. Jeff, all good.
Well, look, we talk about players falling out with Ange Postecoglou. You must have had plenty of players fall out with you during the course of your career. It's not unusual, is it?
No, listen, Jeff, Ali would know, there's always players in the dressing room who maybe are not getting picked or getting picked regularly. We kid ourselves if we think they'll like you. Their wives hate you, their kids hate you. That's how it is. The ones that you pick in and you're making it, they're in your team and they love you. It's great. You're the manager. You're picking them every week. As soon as you leave them out of the team, you'll always get aggro. So you'll always have a few in the dressing room who are very, very much against you. And that is a problem that, you sometimes get, especially if you've got a big squad of players. Those that are not part of it, they turn very quickly,
Harry, tell me, see this season, is it just going to be different in the respect that, well, Jeff and I were talking there, mate, Spurs win their game against Ipswich, they're actually sitting third in the league. I mean, I don't think the league's settled down really at all. Liverpool aside, who have had a fantastic start, you could argue that there's been inconsistency everywhere.
Yeah, there's, as you say, Liverpool the only team really. We've seen Man City, Arsenal, everybody really. It's been dropping points when you least expect it. But yeah, Tottenham have been, we have to be honest, they've been a bit disappointing. Getting beat at Palace, who hadn't won a game until they played Tottenham. Then Ipswich winning their first game against Tottenham. Obviously, not a good, okay, they could still be third if they'd have won that game. But their performance in general, Ali, they have been pretty inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
And, you looked at them at the start of the year, I thought they were nailed on to finish probably fourth this year. I could see the top three being in whatever order: Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal. I certainly fancied Tottenham with that group to be very close to fourth spot. I mean, listen, they could still finish fourth. There's no doubt about that. But at the moment, you never know when they're going to turn up. At the moment.
I mean, if Daniel Levy looks at that table and sees them 10th, and if they lose this weekend, maybe 12th or 13th, how patient would you expect him to be with Ange?
I think he'd be okay. I don't think I think that he can't keep going through managers. They had that spell, Jeff, haven't they? They've gone through too many managers of late, and he's obviously. I don't think Daniel's got a reputation. I think that is far worse than what he deserves. He doesn't interfere really. He doesn't come. He's not one of those chairmen who wants to have an input into the team or anything else. He's pretty laid back about it all. And if the results are going bad, obviously he's got Joe Lewis as well. I mean, Joe's obviously involved there big time, so he's a very powerful man. I think he may be a little bit more, ready to pull the trigger than what Daniel would if it came to it. I think maybe Joe's took a bit of a backward step, but you bet your life he still very much knows what's going on there.
Harry, just a quick one. We're talking also about the kind of the lack of game time that James Maddison's getting. Does that surprise you? Because it seems when Big Ange plays him, he doesn't finish a game, and obviously didn't play at the weekend there.
No, I mean, I thought at the start, obviously he was a big player for me. I thought what a signing when he went there, and he started well. I'm one of his biggest fans, but he does have a tendency, Ali, to look fantastic, have great, and then he seems to disappear. He's done it, at a few clubs now. That he seems to come in with a big bang, and then suddenly his form tends to dip off and drop off a bit. It's important to him. He's such a fantastic footballer. He can. But at the end of it all, they lost a key man, and they lost a main man at the end of it. Harry Kane went, and the team they were so reliant on him, as you would be, because he was the best around. And he's gone, and you can't replace him. Solanke's doing well. I like Solanke, but he's not Harry Kane. Harry Kane was a complete all-round centre forward. He's the leader of the club. He was the captain. He was a fantastic professional. He just led by example. You can't replace him, and that's been the problem for him.
Harry, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks,
Have
Harry.
a great
day, mate.
Good talking to you, lads.
All the best, mate.
I tell you what, I hope Harry's not playing golf today, because we had a text from Rob who says he is in snowy Harrow. So it must be a bit of the white stuff around the sort of London area.
I saw your face. You looked at me. You were doubting me there.
I was doubting you because I can't see it myself, just because it is still pitch black. But I'll take Rob's word for it. That is for sure.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.